Hello, friends. This is something every senior in America has been waiting to hear about, and I want to make sure you have the full picture, not the version they showed on the news, the real version, because the people who understand exactly what happened with this new law are the ones who will make the right financial decisions going forward. And the ones who do not understand it will keep waiting for a promise that was never fully delivered. Before we get into it, subscribe to this channel right now and turn on the bell. I cover exactly this kind of information. Changes that affect your money and your retirement that most people only find out about after the fact. Subscribe now and let's get into it. Trump made a promise, a clear and direct promise. He said it on the campaign trail. He said it at rallies. He said it in his State of the Union address in February 2026. The promise was simple. Seniors should not pay taxes on Social Security, and they won't. That was the promise, word for word. And millions of seniors heard that promise and felt relief, because nearly 40% of seniors depend on Social Security for their entire income. For those people, that promise meant everything. So what actually happened? In July 2025, Trump signed the One Big Beautiful Bill into law, and the White House announced that the bill delivered on the promise, no tax on Social Security. But here is what independent financial experts found when they actually read the law. Social Security taxes were not eliminated. The rules that allow up to 85% of your Social Security benefits to be taxed are still sitting in the tax code today. Nothing changed. Not one word of the original tax law was removed. What the bill actually did was create a temporary $6,000 additional standard deduction for Americans aged 65 and older. Temporary. It runs from 2025 through 2028 only. 4 years. Then it expires. Now, I want to be fair here. For many seniors, that $6,000 deduction does make a real difference. The White House says that 88% of seniors receiving Social Security, about 51 million people, will pay no tax on their benefits when you combine this new deduction with existing deductions they already had. That is genuinely good news for those people. I want you to know that. But here is what you need to understand. This only works for you if your modified adjusted gross income is below $75,000 as a single person or below $150,000 as a married couple. If your income is above those numbers, the deduction starts to phase out. The higher your income, the less you get. And for seniors with a pension, IRA, withdrawals, or required minimum distributions pushing their income up, they may qualify for a reduced deduction or nothing at all. The people who needed this relief the most, the seniors relying on Social Security as their primary income, many of them were already not paying much in taxes before this bill. The deduction helps them the least in real dollar terms. And the people who would have benefited most from a full elimination of Social Security taxes, the middle-income retirees paying a real tax bill, many of them are above the income threshold and do not qualify for the full deduction. There is also something important that almost nobody is talking about. The Committee for a Responsible Federal Budget found that the tax cuts in this bill could create a $169 billion shock to Social Security funding. And if the Social Security Trust Fund depletes earlier than expected, it could trigger an automatic benefit cut of up to 24% for every senior receiving Social Security. So the bill that was sold as protecting your Social Security check could actually be accelerating the timeline to a cut in that same check. That is information every senior deserves to have. So what do you do with all of this right now? First, check your income against the threshold. If your modified adjusted gross income is under $75,000 single or $150,000 married, make sure your tax preparer is applying the full $6,000 deduction when you file this year. Do not assume it is happening automatically. Second, do not build your long-term financial plan around this deduction being permanent. It expires in 2028. Plan for the tax rules that are guaranteed, not the ones with an expiration date. Third, if your income is above the threshold, look at legal strategies that reduce your taxable income. qualified charitable distributions from your IRA, strategic Roth conversions, timing your withdrawals carefully. These strategies have no income limits and no expiration dates. Here is what I want you to take away from this. A promise was made, a law was passed, and whether that law fulfilled the promise depends entirely on your personal income situation. For some seniors it did, for others it fell short. And for all seniors, the long-term picture of Social Security funding deserves serious attention. Know where you stand, check your eligibility. And do not let anyone make this decision for you without the full facts. If this video gave you information you needed to hear, share it with every senior you know. A friend, a parent, a neighbor. They deserve the full story too. And subscribe right now, because next week we are covering something that directly affects every single person collecting Social Security in 2026.